I have the pleasure of introducing our next award winner, Karls Cuisine, and I'm going to ask Dennis West to come on up. Karls Cuisine is in a unique position. We have met them at the height of their demand. They are so busy right now, they're not able to make it here, which we consider a very, very good problem, especially during the winter months in the Upper Peninsula, right? So with that, we've got a video, but before we talk about we show the video that describes the business, Karls Cuisines wanted to extend a special thanks to Dennis West and Northern Initiatives. If you've noticed in the past years, we have so many businesses that have received awards in part because of the services provided by Northern Initiatives. Thank you, Dennis, on Karls Cuisine's behalf, but also thank you so much on terms of the Upper Peninsula's behalf. You have been tremendous asset helping grow things organically within and outside of the Upper Peninsula. So join me in giving Dennis and Northern Initiatives a hand of applause. Okay, and we're gonna show the video and then, oh, wait, hold on.
All right, so let me say one word about Karls Cuisine and how we got started with them. And they started with a catering idea in Pickford. And I remember I was on the loan committee when we looked at this. And their idea was that people who had kids in sports needed some healthy foods to be able to pick up on the way home. And if you were maybe in Grand Rapids, that seems like something that would work. But in Pickford, that was sort of sketchy. And yet they pulled it off and showed the desire and willingness to build systems, move to the Sioux, and now I think with that background and being uniquely placed in Pickford, they were probably one of the first to start to think about farm to fork, using local products and people to make their food. So.
Okay, great. Ashley.
Good afternoon. We would like to thank Operation Action UP Board of Directors for this prestigious award. We can't begin to tell you how privileged we feel and honored. And on behalf of our team, our employees, our family, we would like to thank you for that. We also would like to thank Northern Initiatives, who played a huge part in our success and who nominated us for this award. And we will talk more about our relationship together with them. It's always been my husband's dream to own and operate a business, and ever since he was started as a 15-year-old.
Yeah, when I was 15 years old, my mother brought me down to a restaurant and asked the chef if his son could get a job there washing dishes, and sure enough, that's what happened. Started out washing dishes and stayed there all through high school, worked my way up to become the sous chef there. And the chef I got to work for was an excellent chef, a 4-star chef, and it was a great experience, a great background to start out. And from there I worked at several country clubs throughout Detroit area and several other restaurants, and finally met my wife at one of them. We worked together for many years before we started our business too. And from there we moved up to the UP and were able to start our own restaurant with our whole family involved. It was really a nice thing.
Yeah, it really was. You know, knowing that it was my husband's dream to always own and operate his own business, but I knew what the work entailed, and so we wanted to wait till our children were able to participate in that, and that meant, you know, basically as teenagers. We moved to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in 1995, after, you know, starting a family and Karl working at a wonderful banquet and conference facility outside of Detroit. And we worked at a retreat and conference center here in the Lake Chanot Islands in the Eastern UP for 9 years. Like Karl said, it was always his dream to own and operate a business, and so that's where we started. We really had a heart for helping be able to provide meals for families that were either dual income or single parenting, how hard it is to make a good and healthy meal, coming home from work. So we started, we rented a place in the middle of, literally of nowhere, and in Pickford, Michigan, and we started to do some catering and then home delivery. Carl took on a job as a school bus driver, and so we had the opportunity to start that delivery business with a lot of the teachers and administrative staff at the school. So we would do these flash cooked homemade meals, and then when Carl would go do the bus run and 3 in the afternoon, we would deliver the meals. We'd bring them in the office, and the teachers and admin staff and everybody would come and pick up their meals and take them home, and then be able to have this great home cooked meal that they could put in the oven and cook and have for their families. And that business grew, and we started getting more clients out of this area into the Sault Ste. Marie. And that's how we started the catering in that business up in the Sioux. Well, then that just progressed into owning, or at least leasing and starting our own restaurant. Back then we, Carl and I personally believe that there's 3 things that we take with us when we leave this world, and one of those are people. And we're going to invest in people, and that starts with our family too. And so our children were involved with it as teenagers, and we had the restaurant for about 6-7 years, and then we purchased a existing winery and started making our own wine. And then a couple of years ago we started a brewery. Now, back when we were starting to do the home delivery and the catering, our personal accountant had told us about this company called Northern Initiatives. And they said that they are in the business of helping small businesses in the northern and upper peninsula of Michigan. I have to personally say that we would not be here if it wasn't for Northern Initiatives. They are just an amazing company, and they are actually the ones who nominated us for this wonderful award. We started out with them by purchasing or getting a loan for a 2-door cooler refrigerator, and with that came some counseling and accounting, introducing us to QuickBooks, and it came with web design, graphic design, all these wonderful avenues that we needed to be able to have a successful business. And I, to this day, when people come to us and say, oh, hey, you have this great business, you've built it up, you have 20, 25 employees, what can you tell us? And the first and foremost I will tell them is you need to get a hold of Northern Initiatives. And then, so now, where are we? Having our restaurant and the winery and the brewery. We are a restaurant who makes our own wine and beer. And we have, like I said, 20 to 24 employees. Head of households that are supporting families, single parents. We are in a community with Lake State University, and we have college students that have worked for us for years, putting themselves through college. Not only our own children coming and working all summer long and vacations and such. And
Yeah, things are going really well.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to the future. Maybe we're thinking about maybe a distillery adding on to, or maybe starting canning some of our own products and taking that route also.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the reasons that we are unable to be there in person is we are in the midst of what we call our mega weeks. There are 2 automotive test tracks in the eastern upper peninsula. One is in Brimley and one is in Raco. And we have over, 12, 15 different automotive companies that come up to test their products, whether it be chassis or brakes or vehicles, in these 2 locations. Well, actually there's 3, one in Kinross. And these companies bring their engineers up from suburbs of Detroit. They need to have daily meals provided for them because they're out in the country, and so it's hard to, get to a place to eat without spending an hour. So we, for the last 14 years, have been involved with supplying them with meals. They also then, during these mega weeks, bring their customers up to then show them their product. And so they're going to do some upscale dining at the test track, where they take their customers out on the test track, show them what they have to offer them, bring them back into an event center and give them a nice meal. They also then come to our restaurant for maybe a private group that night to, discuss more of their products and to have a wonderful dining experience. So that's going on right now. What this has meant for our community, bringing 250 people up for hospitality, hotels, and restaurants, it has helped us to not lay off one person in all the years that we have owned and operated Karls Cuisine and Superior Coast Winery and Brewery from laying off someone. So we've been able to keep our employees for, full-time throughout the winter. And like Karl said, there's so much in the works, and small businesses are the heartbeat of America, and companies like Northern Initiatives make sure to try to be able to give them every opportunity to succeed and be able to keep employees, and which ultimately we know what that means for the community. And so we're just honored and privileged to not only achieve our dreams, but to help others achieve theirs too. And we'd like to thank you for this award and this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you very much.